The end of Stranger Things is not comparable to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was this long, epic, sweeping masterpiece that the showrunners were so quick to be done with because they thought they were getting a Star Wars series that they fumbled the ball and, rightly lost the Star Wars series too. Where Game of Thrones failed, I think Stranger Things wrapped up pretty nicely. I had my own expectations. I had my own predictions about the finale. I thought people were going to die that were vital characters. But in listening to the showrunners and listening to a lot of people out there, I realized I kind of missed the boat. And the reason why is we've gotten so used to series killing off main characters. One of my favorite shows, Lost, was notorious for that. Game of Thrones was notorious for that. Ozark, you can go down the list where they kill off people. And there was something that was satisfying about that because it felt like there was a greater risk. But this show is based in the 80s. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s. I grew up with the Goonies and, Stand By Me. And one of the common themes and all that is the main characters don't die, but you still felt the stakes. You still felt like there was danger. And I think because we've been prisoners of the moment of modern day where death is everywhere and shows are just killing people off, that we're not satisfied and the stakes aren't high enough if people aren't dying. But I don't think this show was ever really about that. It was about growing as friends and family. It was about accepting people as they are and not feeling like, oh, well, this person is going to be gone the next minute. You get attached to a character and next thing you know, they're dead. Now, it feels like more people should have died, but I like what they did. I like that it's all about the group growing together. It's all about, basically playing this grandiose game of Dungeons and Dragons. As someone who grew up on a street where we literally rode bikes well past when the streetlights came on, we played baseball in the street. We did all these things together. I never played Dungeons and Dragons. My son has, and he loves it. I missed out on that. But man, we played and played and played. And having lost a best friend growing up, that's a lot. And this show covers a lot of emotional territory. It covers, interracial issues. It covers LGBTQ issues. It covers women's empowerment. I mean, you can go down the list. And this show takes a lot of great care. And I think that to expect it to just be about who's going to die is kind of missing the boat. And I feel like I missed the boat a little bit on that. But looking back now, it's not about that. It's about, working together to achieve that goal. And I feel like the finale was so sweet. And I love the fact that at the end you're wondering, is Elle alive? I think they give you enough information to think that, she might be alive. She might be dead. I don't know. But either way, I was crying my eyes out. I love the finale. It felt like a goodbye. It felt like a goodbye for all these kids that are growing up and going their separate directions. And I think that's part of what this show is doing, is saying, you're going to grow up, but the stories that we tell will always be there. When you get older, when you're laying on your deathbed, you're not going to think about all the little details that you missed or the bad decisions that you made. You're going to think back about the memories and about the moments. And if you pick apart your own life the way people pick apart Stranger Things or any of the series, you're missing the boat. Now, granted, there's some series that are awful. There's some series that are killing people off that I just watched. I just watched the show Invasion. Invasion on Apple was entertaining and it had some little bit of Stranger Things elements to it. And they were just fine with killing off main characters. And it served that story. Where I don't think it served Stranger Things' story. I think it's fun to think about those things. I think it's fun to talk about these things and post about them. But, my recommendation is tell your story. Tell the story that you want to tell. If you want to kill people off, do whatever. Go out there and tell stories. You should be happy that the Stranger Things, that the Duffer Brothers are out there making stuff like this. That we still have the ability, that a lot of people in the world don't get to watch these kind of things. And they have to live a life where they don't know who's going to be alive tomorrow. So I think that we need to be grateful that we have the art that we are, and we're kind of spoiled with it. And take some stock in it. Tell your own stories if you feel like other people aren't doing justice to stories. Get out there, make a movie. Even if it's with your iPhone, why not? Do it. Stranger things have happened.